Alright, this is Lab 2, and on Lab 2 we're going to be doing Chapter 11, Program 1. Title of this is going to be Battleship. We're going to be able to use an array to create a battleship layout. We're going to use the size of 25 by 25. We're going to create a program function that's going to be able to read our board size to implement our text file with the game board so we can read our coordinates. We're going to also create a program that's going to allow us to fire coordinates so that way you can know if you hit your target or miss your target. Then we're also going to create a program that's going to allow us to input to let us know that your fleet has been sunk or destroyed. And we're going to begin. So we're going to start first off by going to line 5. We're going to use constant integer board size, which is going to be 25. That's our value. So we want our board size to be a 25 by 25 once again. So on line 8, we're going to be, we created a function to check if all the ships have been sunk. So we use a Boolean statement for the fleet sunk. And Boolean statements are true or false type statements. So we also use a for loop. So it's going to be able to have for integer I, we're going to have it set up to 0. So long as integer I is less than the board size, you're good. Same with J. As long as we have it set up for 0, or as long as J is less than the board size of 25, you're good. And once again, it's a Boolean, so we have a true or false statement. So if it's false, it's going to say there's still ships remaining, and if it's true, all the ships have been sunk. Line 20, we have the function to fire the torpedo at the given coordinates. We're going to void fire x and y integer. We don't want it to pop up at the end, but we're using an if statement for x and y. So if you hit a coordinate with coordinate h, we're going to output hit again. And your coordinate has already been hit on that one. So for the ones that's been hit already, once again, it's going to say hit again. And we also have it set up for if it's missed, since we're using the if statement. And then we also will go on to line 37 to read the game board text file. We have an if statement to try and see if it's able to read your file. And once again, it has to have the same amount as our board setup for 25 by 25. It will show up an error if it's unable to read it. Now we're also going to have a file set up to read the game board file. We have a for loop for integer I. Once again, this is just explaining the size of your text file. It should be a 25 by 25. So we have our coordinates. It needs to be set up with I and J. It can be equal to 0, but also less than the game board size. And we have it closed. Then we have play game. To play the game, we have x and y coordinates. And we're going to be using integer x and y. We're using a while loop. So we're going to have the output for x and y coordinates 0 to 24 once again, because our game size is 0 to has to be 0 or less than 25. It's going to allow you to implement your x, and same goes for the y. So if for coordinates x is less than 0 and or x is greater than or equal to the board size of 25, and same with y, you're going to have invalid coordinates and try again. Or else, if your values are able to fit within that range from 0 to 24, it would allow you to fire. And next we'll start to display the final game board. Output final game board on the line. So we're gonna have a for loop going on. So in our for loop, we have integer I equal to 0, as long as I is less than the board size once again. And same for J in the for loop, we have integer J is equal to 0, and J has to be less than the game board size. So we're gonna output the game board size based upon the coordinates and return 0. And that's all the functions that we need. Then we'll start to run the program. Also here we have our text, Game Boy text file. As you can see, we have zeros, hashtags, and H. It's going to be reading based upon our programming. Once again, H will show hit again, and you can scroll down, you can see as we ran it. It shows once we hit the H, it shows hit again. We put in other coordinates for X and Y. They'll show either miss or hit, and you just keep continuing until you hit a miss until your fleet is